Basically, when you search, there's part of Google experiment right now, so you only have access when you sign up for it. But what it does is, for any search, for most searches, it will generate a quick summary of search results, but not just current search results. It also takes into account previous searches of that person, related searches. So it's tried to be more diverse than search results. So if there is, even if the intent is pretty clearly buying, like someone wants to buy something, for example, they would search car parts here and model, Google would still show quick articles in most cases explaining how to choose that, what to do with that, how to go about finding new parts, or how to go about finding used parts. So there will be a little section explaining the process for the buyer to make a more informed decision. And there will be also brands that sell those, or products from Google's product feeds. So it's like a mix of summary of search results with additional information to help a searcher. And the problem with that is obvious when those go live, and some of them take most of the page, some of them you have to click to generate, and some of them you have to click to unfold. So in any ways, they're very engaging. It can take away a lot of clicks from people ranking organically. And it is very hard to predict those buying journeys because you don't know what Google is generating for each user. Like with organic listings, we have at least some control. There, we have no control whatsoever because AI generates what it wants, and there is no way to track that because it's user side. It's generated for each user separately, so you cannot even see what people are looking at when they find or fail to find your site. So this is the issue that we are discussing partly today as well, because we all agree that that is going to be the future of Google, and we try to figure out how we can still be discoverable, findable with those going public. Were you able to find any patterns when using AI snapshot? What can be done to increase the chances to get surfaced in them?
I think what I've seen, or what I've read so far, is just that the AI tool is looking to get the simplest answer, so that it's like really good plagiarism. It takes what you've written, rewrites it, and puts a new spin on it. And if you have complex sentences and big text of paragraphs, then it's probably not going to get picked up. What I have read is simple is better. You know, what is the question? Here is the answer. And that's at the top of the page, and then everything else can be more explanation. But you know, I have seen that when we have structured information like that, that some of that content has been pulled up into the answer. And we've also been able to get, you know, some of the I guess I don't even know what it's called, it off to the side where it's giving you reference websites to go to. We've been able to get some of those as well.
We know that the search engines are just trying to provide the best answers, you know, regardless of the search methodology that's being used. So I think really focusing when you're creating content on really providing the best answer, and as Rebecca said, the simplest answer to a question. But then I think when we started, you know, when we're looking at these results and trying to figure out how to get into these like SGE results, there's a few things to think about. I think one is it's going to be more important to use structured data on your website so that it can easily find and identify the topic area around your content. We've been doing a lot of work on really focusing on featured snippets because those really provide that question answer sort of methodology that these tools are leveraging a lot of. And then I think the most important thing is just trying to get your content out in as many places as possible so that when these tools are scrubbing sites and scrubbing videos and all the different places where they're gathering and building their data set, that your content is what is out there, regardless of the platform or, search.
It is more predictable than any AI platforms in terms of discoverability, because we know exactly what it is using for the database, what it is summarizing. So one of the fundamental things here is still to rank in organic results, because most of those highlighted references that AI snapshots are giving, they come from top search results. Not always for the current query, because it also includes answers to very related queries as well sometimes. But it is still key. So these days, it's more about not keyword research, but researching those journeys. Like if someone is searching for car parts, what else that person is going to ask and how they would make that decision. There are a lot of clues in search results as well. Even now, we can see related queries. Those are queries that come in close proximity with your current query. So including those in your optimization strategy is very important, because then you have better chances not just to show up as answer, but also show up as the answer to related questions as well. And that is, so organic rankings, and I'm happy as SEO about that, is that organic rankings are still key even with this new thing. Just like Brian mentioned featured snippets, it's the same process. You cannot be featured unless you rank in top 10 results. You cannot be featured unless you give the answer to that question. So that's the combination that is still key in AI snapshots as well. You need to rank and you need to provide good answers to questions. But it's not just content. AI snapshots are generated for product questions, for brand questions. Google would answer all of those queries using its index. So we know exactly what Google is using, and this is good. For example, if you search for a particular product, Google would pull products from their shopping feeds, and we have at least some control over that if we feed our products to Google Merchant. If it's a local query, Google would show maps right in that AI snapshot map results. So being a verified business is also very important to be highlighted there. And if someone is searching for a brand, or if the query it contains a brand name, Google would pull from its knowledge base, which is great, or it would pull from top results for that branded query as well. So the more control you have over your branded queries, the better. So all of that at least is predictable. And unlike ChatGPT or other solutions where we have no idea where they're pulling that information from, with Google, we know exactly if the URL is indexed, it's probably being used to build up that knowledge base that generative experience is using to summarize answers, to give answers to the queries. And I think this is very important to remember, that it's not the end of the world. We still know what Google is using, and it's at least at some point predictable whether we know how to get to those answers. We need to rank, and we need to give answers, or we need to have matching products for that. Everyone agrees on that. If those snapshots go live, we will lose some traffic. It's inevitable. Just like with any other feature Google introduces, we lost traffic to featured snippets. We lost traffic to people also ask. We are losing traffic to videos. We are losing traffic to Reddit, that is dominating just about any search results these days. And we will lose some traffic to that as well. So how do we go about that?
One of the things we're focusing on is using AI tools to help solve the AI discovery problems that we're facing. So my wife and I have 6 kids between the two of us, and they're all like college age or just before or just after that. And we had a great conversation over the break. I'm always grilling them about, different things between school searches and how they're searching. And So we had a great conversation about how they're searching for different things and what platforms they're using, because they're not just going to Google anymore. They're going to TikTok, they're going to ChatGPT. So one of my sons was just talking about his car was making a funny problem. So he went to ChatGPT and said, why is my car making a funny noise? And then he had a conversation with ChatGPT about, and he eventually narrowed it down just by describing the problem and when it was occurring, that he's got muffler problems. So now he just asked ChatGPT, where can I get a muffler near me? So it's a whole different idea of, now these tools, you have to start thinking about how these tools are going to be used in the search process and how you can get your content featured in that. And you can also use these AI tools to help you, like for writing product descriptions and titles on, like if you're writing a description of a product to post on eBay, you can go to ChatGPT and say, how can I make the title for this more findable or more relevant to my target audience, who is, someone looking for a car part for this particular problem? Or how can I make the description more relevant to help them solve their problem, or to help answer questions they might have about why their car is acting a certain way and it's this part that they need. So lots of different ways we can use the tools to help us solve the problems that the tools have created.
Yeah, it's twofold. There are problems, but they are also solving problems, because Google has been using machine learning for years now, and it was impossible to reverse engineer because we just don't think that way. And now we can ask AI platforms, what do you think about this query? Who is looking for that? What's the persona? What's the possible journey? How they got to that? Are they in the middle of the buying journey, or are they just beginners? So all of those questions that Google has known for years, we can now ask AI generative platforms and get at least some answers to try and understand what AI is looking for. One thing about search, using ChatGPT to search, is that it uses Bing, which makes Bing rankings also important these days. And I cannot be happier about that, because we have been dealing with one single platform for more than 20 years now. And finally, there is a reason to look at other search engines and other ways to get found online, which cannot be a bad thing, because when there is a competition, there is always an opportunity for those using those platforms and optimizing for them. So that's good.
So I've asked it to essentially write articles for us as outlines. So never using that content output exactly as written, but just like using it to give ideas. And I've been reading a lot about, I want to dive more into using it. So I've been reading more about how to write prompts to get the best results out of it.
ChatGPT a lot to help me write prompts. So I'll say, I want to write a prompt about this. What other details could I include, or what other, things could I add to this to better address the audience needs, or to help me reach my end goal? And it'll say, tell me more about, who you're trying to reach and what message you're trying to, and then you put all that in and you get much better output from it, because it has all this other detail around what you're specifically trying to do with that prompt.
Yeah, you can also just copy paste your whole article or page into that and ask, this is my target query, what am I missing? What sections should I add to make it better for the user? Or compare it to my competitor's article, for example, what it is missing as compared to a high ranking competitor. And it would tell you, hey, they have this section, they describe this concept, they have, of course, it will not see everything, like there might be video or image or something else. They would not know about the trustworthiness and authority of that page as well, but at least it will be able to tell you this is exactly what can be done to improve the content of that page, which is also the key, or these are the questions that you could answer on that page to make it more valuable and helpful. So that is something I'm also using, especially for old content when it's getting stale and it needs to be updated. Updating manually is very difficult. I would put it in ChatGPT and ask, give me the takeaways, give me something more that I need to cover here, and compare it to my competitors, what fresh information they have that I don't have, things like that. So you can definitely use it in many ways.
So you're literally feeding into it and saying, you know, my article is this, my competitive article is that. What do they have that I don't have?
Exactly. I have the custom GPT now. If you have the pro version of ChatGPT, you can use custom GPTs now. So everyone can build one for a particular task. So I have one now, and what it does, you give it your target query. It would search and tells you things like these are possible buyer personas who are using this query. This is what they are trying to achieve. Most of the results are articles, and most of them are fresh articles. So things like that to give you a better idea of how to go about that query. And then it will invite you to copy paste or give URL to your content. It will analyze it, and then you can give the content of your competitor, and it will analyze it as well and compare based on the findings that it stated previously. So that's a quick way to analyze any query and have a better idea of what do you need for it. Is it a landing page? Is it an article? Should it be fresh? Is it time sensitive? Is it evergreen? Is there any buy intent? Who am I talking to when I'm targeting, optimizing for that query?
Yeah, we actually just created so we use ChatGPT to generate a ideal persona for an undergraduate student, a potential undergraduate student, with all of their like decision criteria and challenges. And then we took that and we made a custom GPT out of that for this undergraduate student. And now we're having it look at all of our pages and say, what questions are we not asking? What problems are we not addressing? What other content would you like to see? Is this consumable? And then we're looking at competitor sites too and saying, what information do they have on their admissions page that we don't have on our page? So it's been really helpful.
That's great.
Yeah.
Search engine land said that they're predicting like anywhere from an 18 to 60% hit on your organic traffic due to search, SGI or SGE and different AI search alternatives, and just the shifting landscape of search, more people using TikTok and ChatGPT and other search, platforms. So it's a big priority for us, but we also realize that it's not the only. We really need to come up with other ways to improve our discoverability. So looking at creating communities or being active in different communities for specific areas of focus for us, because once we establish ourselves in those community as experts, then when they're looking to make a decision about certain things, they'll come to us. So really trying to figure out how we can really offer, new content marketing. So when they're looking for help in writing their college essay, we don't care if they come to us or not, but we're going to be the resource that they use to help figure out how to write a good college essay. Maybe we'll get more students that way.
This is great. I've been saying for 20 years, do not just depend on Google. So develop other ways to generate traffic and leads, and most of them take time to develop. So the earlier you start, the better. I do realize that's not an option for many businesses. The traffic loss will be different based on the model of the business and niche. If that's mostly informational side, it will be hit more than e-commerce site who have additional visibility through product feeds, because they do have a huge visibility in search generative experience, and people can just buy clicking links there. So that they are, at least at this point, we don't know how many times Google will change the look and feel of the AI snapshots, but they are expanding that to different countries without changing. So it is a good reason to think this is one of the final versions that they want to roll out to everyone. So at this point, local businesses and small businesses who have visibility through product feeds in Google, I know Blake, you are using those, they will still get clicks even from AI snapshots if those are well optimized and respond to queries. So for long tail queries, especially with buying intent, I feel like it will be less of a loss than informational sites that give answers to queries Google already knows. So that will be a bigger loss. I think that at least that's what I feel we will see. I don't think that every business will lose 60%. Those that rely on longer tail queries will retain a lot of traffic because of lower competition and lower understanding of Google AI, of what it is. Some specific queries where Google cannot know the answer, or at least cannot be confident knowing the answer. Long tail search will still be a very important part of organic visibility. So I would definitely look at those, and being on the map and having your products fed into Google are also two very important steps in preparation. But for bigger businesses or for medium businesses, having a brand is very important, because Google is known for recommending similar brands, or people also search for brands or giving answers based on brand associations that it has. Do you do anything for outbound, like link building or anything, or is it just on-page content development and things like that? Curious what everyone thinks about the future of backlinks as well.
Yeah, I mean, at the university, don't really um, we don't really have a focus on link building because we already have so many good links, and we syndicate so much content out to, all of our research content goes out to New York Times and Washington Post, and so we get a lot of link back from that. So we don't do much intentional link building. One of the I just want to mention one of the examples that we use in when we did Epic was river pools and spas, that basically took all of the questions that people asked them about pool installations and put those up on their website. And they went into all the communities where they could, and they just answered as many questions as they could about, pool installations. That was back in 2008, 2010 when we did the case study, when they were doing this big transition. And now they're one of the largest pool installers in the world, and they actually had to become manufacturers of pool liners because they couldn't keep up with the demand for their installations. So now they're one of the largest manufacturer of pool inserts, just because they put all the content up there for free, and answered all of those long tail questions that people had that didn't exist anywhere else. And then they were active in all these communities so that people trusted them. And when it came time to do their pool install, they went to River, whether they were more expensive or not, because they trusted them and they knew they were the experts, and they knew they were just trying to help them, with their pools, whether they were the final choice or not. So, yeah.
What to do when you have your online site and you do your business and you're a small business? How do I attract all the good signals to get visibility in search?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have time to spend time writing blog posts about, different things, I'd say, minimally get an FAQ page up. And then when people ask you questions and you answer them, add that to your FAQ page. Here's a common question that people ask. Here's our answer. Or if you don't like doing, adding that on your web page, Go do a YouTube or Reels or TikTok or something like that, where you just record, here's the problem that somebody asked me about. Here's how we solved it, just so that that content is out there and you are the right answer for that question. Because people go to find content to get answers to their questions and solve their problems.
Yeah,
It's not
good
just about
point.
the content though, right? It's also about the promotion of that content and getting it out there in front of the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. I
And
mean,
that takes a great deal of time.
yeah, and the best way that, I've found to do that is by creating connections with influencers, by being active on their channels or by sharing things in their channels that, you reply to, you comment on a post that they made, and then within that post, you make an observation about, we had a customer recently that had the same problem and we solved it this way, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I think for small businesses, there is an opportunity to combine link building with finding your new buyers elsewhere. For example, getting listed in local directories, working with local businesses that in some way cannot complement yours, but there could be the same audience that could be interested in that business. Participating in local events, working with local bloggers or reporters, all of those methods can not only bring backlinks and signals to Google, but could also put your business out there next time, eventually get you more customers. So I think that is for smaller businesses who cannot dedicate time to just SEO and link building, finding the ways to get out there, not just for links and organic optimization, but also to find new channels to market yourself, to market your business.
Yeah, and especially in a local, like when you're trying to target a local market, there are lots of opportunities to do presentations. Like there are Chamber of Commerce groups who are always looking for people to come in and present. And if you can put together a, half-hour presentation about something that will help them, what repairs can you do on your car to save you money, quickly and easily, that aren't too complicated or don't take too many, specialized tools. They're always looking for, people to come in and present. And it's a great way to start that networking and build those connections and set yourself up as an expert who's looking to help. So there's lots of ways, even outside of, the digital space, to help promote your business so that more and more people are going to search for you and find you with those branded searches too.
Have you found any tactics that could improve your brand visibility in other AI platforms apart from Google? If you include those in your content, trusted sources, statistics, and quotes from known experts, that increases your chances to get surfaced by Perplexity on that. They list their sources on top of the answer, so there is more visibility there than with ChatGPT or even Google's part. But this is just one research I know.
We're telling our creators to just try to get into as many platforms and, look in Reddit for questions that you can answer, look in Quora, try to get in those communities, look to create videos around those, anywhere where people are searching and you can make your content appear to be relevant and helpful. I think eventually the AI tools are just going to be looking to feature the best answer. So if you have the best answer in every platform.
This is a great point, because AI platforms utilize what we give them. So if you are nowhere, they don't know about you. So being active as much as you can and building your brand visibility is definitely one of the ways to get found, so that when people search for solutions, you're highlighted as an expert to help or a brand to buy from, or a publisher giving answers to. I know we've been talking about inbound marketing for so long, and now we're telling everyone go out there and do outbound.
Brought up Reddit in the group, and I
Yeah.
had no idea how powerful that was as a resource, as a platform.
Well, I think that for Reddit and Quora, but mostly Reddit, if AI wants and Google search wants to reward first-party experience, unique experiences, then that is where those things are, because it's real people talking about the real problems and how they
Right.
solved it. A couple of years ago, I was going in on a regular basis and commenting on things. I've fallen off of that, but definitely it's on the list for this year to get back in there, get seen, and answer some of those questions to drive people back. But it definitely it's a resource that people have long used to find the answers to their unique questions.
Yeah, the powerful aspect about Reddit is that it's being very carefully moderated. Every subreddit has real humans moderating it. So, and they are very passionate about being that part at the top of that community. So they're doing a great job, and I know they've been very vocal about fighting AI content, so that the comments are real, and fighting spammers. But at least this is a huge level of human moderation, something that Quora is missing, something that just about any other network is missing. Reddit has it, and that's the power of it. In the future, they predict we'll have AI communities, AI influencers, AI everything. So at least one corner of the web will hopefully survive that, and there will be just humans with no AI contributions. And that's why Google is so interesting. Is this?
Yeah, and the other reality on that is that human aspect is still needed. So Google will surface something to the top of search that is absolutely wrong, and it will suck that information into AI and produce the wrong answer.
That is already happening. Yeah, that is already happening.
And so I think that human authorship, human editorial, Reddit, things like that will become more important as people realize, like, you're not getting the right answer and you have to dig deeper.
Exactly, and Google understands that. That's why they are so vocal about we need first-hand experience when you are reviewing products. We need real expertise when you're writing about that, about this. At least one of those you need to rank. And that's also an idea for Blake to get active on Reddit, which is probably your target audience as well. And if you just keep the brand name consistent with your site so that it's recognizable, that is something you could be doing to attract additional signals and additional audience as well. So, and customer base, building something that you can even create. That's something I suggest for medium to big brands, is to creating a branded subreddit, because that's where you can build your community. And when anyone is searching for, I don't know, Salesforce Reddit or SEMrush Reddit, your Reddit will be ranking on top of that. So you can control that sentiment, and you can control what people are seeing when they are researching your brand on Reddit, because it's a evolving trend. Just about any query has a long tail alternative that includes Reddit. So if someone is searching for Apple Watch, there's definitely Apple Watch Reddit query that people are using to just find discussions and recommendations and pros and cons of that device. So it's something people are really increasingly searching these days because it is so hard to find real advice. That's not an affiliate site. That's not someone biased. That's not a brand itself talking about their products. It's getting very hard. So people are flowing to Reddit to research that. So we as business owners have to be there as well. And Reddit is a big component of our marketing process as well. We're using it heavily to get our clients' content out there and get those signals as well. So it's definitely something to look at.
I would imagine that schema plays a role in Reddit as well, tying your accounts to get recognized quicker and easier.
Yeah, it's for organizational schema. They could just include same as and Reddit link to their profile on Reddit so that Google can build those associations. And anytime you're searching for something, this profile comes up as well as your site. So yeah, that's a very good point as well. And just about like with any channel, make sure Google knows about them. And the more you have, the more you control your branded search. And the more you are ready for search generative experience because they pull results from branded search. And then that's when they will be hopefully showing everything that you can control and there is no negativity there. No channel will be as dominant as Google was. From here, it will be more balanced and there will be more ways for people to get information. And we will have to diversify because using the dominant channel, Google will lose dominance. Discover new online channels, like I said, it could be Reddit, it could be other forums that other communities that may have your target audience. It could be something else. It could be local directories or local partnerships or small business partnerships with someone who you can exchange audience and share leads. But it is important to start thinking about that now because Google will be losing dominance, and with that, eBay, Amazon, they will also be losing dominance because the online world is becoming so diverse.